We went 40 years ago, so it's been a long time, but I haven't stopped my training there. I started out at Pat's Custom Carpet Care because I just did carpet and upholstery, and I've gone through classes and learned things throughout the years, and so we do more than just carpet and upholstery. Now we do any type of fabric, any kind of carpet. We do wool, silk rugs, we can do upholstery, any kind of upholstery you have out there, any type of flooring too. We do tile, stone, of course carpet, and things of that nature. So last week, what I was working on was some stone refinishing. So we can refinish any kind of stone, marble, travertine, what have you. You can refinish it, not just clean it or polish it, but refinish it. And so I have a couple pictures here. This right here is a picture of a marble countertop. This is up there in Newport Coast. The home out there is about $5 to $6 million home. And you have the counter, this is the bathroom tile. This is what it looked like before we started. Right here, it didn't have any shine to it at all. It had some scratches. You can't really see them from there. Go to the next picture. And that's what it was afterwards. And so what we did here is we did a honing process with diamonds. And so we started at like 200, 400, 800. So you over this like 5 or 6 times each process. And at the end, you polish it. And that's how you get something like this. This isn't wax or anything, that's a stone. So that's not going to wipe off or anything like that. You can clean that all day long. That will last for years. Then you start to scrape it up again. And this is the spot they had in their floor. There's etching right there, and we had to take that out. That can be caused by any type of acidic drink or what have you. Acid that attacks the natural stones. You have to go out for that. This here is just a picture of there's a little crack right there. We had to fix that later on. And there's me right there. Again, this is a marble right here before we got to. This is prior to our work, our refinishing. Go ahead. And that's another marble floor after we did it. Keep going. Again, this is the countertop. This is a sandstone or limestone that we started working on. And that's prior to our work. And this is one of my guys up there polishing away. Up there, what it is diamond. I mean, diamond pads, and you just polish it. Depends on how bad it is. So you can go 5 steps, 6 steps, or what have you. So we do it. The amount of stuff that needs to be taken. And spent possibly some of these things. There he is, he's polishing up there. And that's afterwards. So what happened up here is they had a plant up there that scarred it up, messed it up, it scratched the marble. Big scratch, so we had to polish that out. Hone it out actually. There's the island up there's a sandstone right here. This is the island that we did. We protect the areas too. See right here, we put plastic up so we don't splatter things all over. Want to see right here? Again, that's a finished product right there. And that's the kitchen right there. The full kitchen. That's it, right? Yeah. So what we do is we'll put up plastic barriers. We have these poles that go up to the roof. We'll plastic that off. So when we're doing our work, it won't fly over because it does get kind of messy. We can do this on your floor if you have tile floors or any type of stone. Do that. So this is one of the things that we do besides carpet and upholstery. So that could be it. Right? Any questions? Yes.
What about wood?
We do wood too. We can clean it.
Yep.
And we can say that somebody's home, go to their house, and they have a hardwood floor, and they put some type of polish on it. I can say it's a year thing finished, and they put polish on it. Well, that ruins the floor. So you have to take that polish off. So if you have a hardwood floor, never put any type of finish on it if it's your thing, because it already has a finish on it. You just have to clean it. So a lot of times I want to go home and they'll say, look at all these marks on my floor. And I'll test it and see that somebody put some type of polish on it, and you just take it off, and it's like new thing pretty much. So I don't sand refinish wood floors, but we do stone stuff, but not wood floors. But we do clean them.
What about wall holes and things like that?
We pretty much don't do too much with wood. I mean, we'll clean it.
Really big table.
Yeah, we
Really big, expensive table.
Yeah.
That's what I got here.
We can clean it, but we don't refinish it. If you have stone or something like that, you do that and finish it up, and not wood so much. If you have carpet or something like that, we can do things with that. We can either do spot dyeing, we can clean it, or repair it, or stretch it. So anything to do with carpet, we can do that. If you have upholstery, basically just clean that too. We have specialized spot cleaning and things of that nature. So pretty much we're cleaning out and sanitizing. Everything needs to be sanitized. Say that something died in one of the rooms or something like that, like we can take care of that, you know. Take care of the smell the odors and stuff like that. If you have smoke damage in any manner, we take care of that. Or, of course, if you have some kind of virus, we take care of that too. So, and the things that we use are natural, non-toxic. So after we're done doing our sanitizing, it's completely safe. There's nothing left behind that like hurts somebody. You don't have to worry about your kids crawling on the carpet or touching the walls because somebody comes in with a fog or with a chemical in there. Hey, we killed the virus and it will stay here for 7 days. Well, there's a chemical in there, so that chemical's not good for people. But they say, oh, it's not high enough toxins to harm you, but it may have toxins that don't harm you. So we use things that are toxic. So like peroxide, things of that nature. So we don't use those type of things. Good. Dr. Mark.
Tell them about your water damage.
We also do water damage too, and that's why how I got into the sanitation part of the business, because in water damage you got to sanitize things. You got to dry them out. You got to make sure there's no mold spores left, things of that nature to fester. So, and we have chemicals for that. But I went to the other side of that, and we don't use a chemical. We use oxidation products like peroxide, there's ozone water, stuff like that. Those things aren't chemicals, those are oxidizers. They kill the same way. I mean, they won't kill you, and it might burn your skin or something like that, but it won't cause you to it's not toxic, in other words. Yes.
All right, I have a testimony. So I had a listing that I was doing, and over 20 years of ownership, they had cooked a lot of greasy type food that had kind of spilled onto their granite countertop. And so Pat came out, took a look at it. It was like a beautiful countertop except for this one little spot, and it was clear you could either replace it, or I'm like, let's get Pat in there and see if he can do something with it. And he was able to go through a process, I think it was like 7 or 8 steps.
Yes.
Or something like that, of drawing the grease out of the stone and then reseal it. And so when we sold the house, it looked like a brand new countertop.
So we made a poultice, it's called. So what you do, you put that on stone is very porous, so grease and things of that nature you get inside the stone. You can't just clean it out, you have to pull it out. So we made a poultice, like a paste in a sense, put it on there, let it sit there, and it pulled the stain out. So we did it, I think 3 or 5 times.
It took a few weeks.
It did, but it took a while to get in there too. So, but it pulled it out and it saved the stone. So we do things like that. And if you have a crack or a nick in your stone, we can repair that. One time I was cleaning it was a table, and it was a marble table, and we moved the thing, right, and the edge cracked off.
Oh man.
Oh no. So I just got into my stone cleaning class. I showed the guy, he goes, what do we do with this? He goes, you can repair that. So I learned how to repair stuff too. I really did it too. I put that piece back on, he repaired it. Looks like they were happy. I was happy. Helped me out because I learned something really good. So I can do that too. We can repair stone cracks, nicks, and that nature. So yes, Dr. Mark.
Sir, when I had a water leak in my office one of the times in the law school, I had all this equipment to dry out the office. Then he was competing in a race on the river or something. He left me all his equipment, and I dried it out myself. All that beautiful equipment, he just left for me. And I got it all done.
Because you're trustful.
Thanks, man.
So that's one of my metering things with them. The equipment had to stay there anyway, it's a problem, but that's one of my meters with them. Got the meter, to make sure that everything is correct. So, yeah, we have meters, we have thermal imaging cameras. If you have a water damage, we don't have to tear your place apart to find it. We use our thermal image camera to find the leak, and then we have a moisture meter to confirm it. So, yeah, so we have techniques to do that, plus we're certified in water damage too. And that's it for today, I guess, right?
Right.
Let's go.